All right, how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing okay, not too bad in survival mode. Again, crazy weather, all kinds of stuff, right? Um, but today could be a big day all the way around. So here's where we left off, right? We're heading toward that oneness, right? Um, this is a bowling score sheet, right? And if this is the 10th day, looks like potentially we're going to have, okay, so I was talking about the minor timeline disappearing, and it kind of did. It kind of ran its own cycle way out of the way, but we might have a little bit of it show up here. We might get one of each of the four blocks, right here. And I don't have any idea what that's going to be. Because it kind of goes back to, like I said, just doing a big picture. Well, okay, putting together a big puzzle when you don't know what the picture is, right? The easiest way to do is just do the side pieces, the corner pieces stuff, right? So that's how all this has kind of worked through the years, so to speak. How I didn't even realize we were looking at loops down a hopscotch board until sometime, last year and a half ago, whatever it was. I thought we were just heading down the hopscotch board. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Because what's been going on for these last 10 days, and I haven't been able to track all of it, and it's a really hard thing to do, especially working and blah, blah, blah. So we have like a minor thing running in the background, and then we have the major story running in the foreground for each of the 10 days. I know this seems weird, but and the reason I get drawn to this is that movie 300, right? Never saw the movie. It's a title. 300's in a lot of things. You got the Chrysler 300, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you get a perfect score in bowling, that's 300. Okay, so just like, there were certain things that led me to looking at a hopscotch board, there's certain things that have me looking towards a bowling sheet. So the major thing that I've noticed running in the background is the loop that goes from the beginning to the taking of the bride and then the path back. Okay, so that's what's been kind of running in the background, because that's basically the overall story. So it's kind of been running in the background through this, a sequence of days, so to speak, and events, things that, again, it's hard to explain. And then on the day-to-day, we've been looping through sections of the three worlds from the Hopi prophecies. One couple stretch of days it'll be world number 2, couple stretch of days it'll be world number 3, whatever. Again, it's really hard to explain, but I wanted to show you that and how today could be a pretty good news day. Now, kind of because it goes back to this right here. I've talked about spy versus spy, and it also goes to like the supposed Illuminati checkerboard, right? The black and white. It's not an Illuminati thing. It's just it is what it is. Okay. Same thing with Let This Be Your Last Battlefield. You had the two guys, right? They were both black and white, just one on the other side than the other. Okay, it's the four corners, and it's even in the United States right here. Okay, not only is it the lit side and the dark side, the two halves, it's in the country, the half. You have one side of the country that's burning up, and the other side, now they say, and you always see this, nobody's ready for whatever. I think we're all kind of ready. They say that what's going on today, this is a today map, is very, very unusual for August. Some big coming out of Canada, super cold. Okay, that's half the country. So it's even half and half. So you have a big storm here, a big high pressure thing here, and then there's this little remnant back here. And that even shows up in this right here when we went to war with Iraq. You had the two major fronts and the minor one that runs back here. The two black holes with the third minor one. It's everywhere. And to give you an idea of crazy loops, okay, so this has to do with the war in Iraq still. It has to do with, the western axis, drive up the Euphrates. So there's your Euphrates situation again, just like over there, like we have going on in this country over here today. And another thing that's another loop is the deployment of the USS Abraham Lincoln. Okay? It was out in its initial 6 to 7 month tour, but it was prolonged due to the outbreak and hostilities. Okay, and it was also relieved, just like it is today, by the George Washington. Okay, and that also gets back to your in one of the stories out of the script, the trumpets that took down the walls of Jericho. I talked about this a while back, but for, the new people, the most recent people, maybe haven't seen them. Trumpets, that's, again, energy, frequency, and vibration, okay? Those are directed energy weapons. That's why you had troops surrendering to CNN with their skin burning. Okay, it is what it is. So we have those same loops taking place in the Middle East that we had way back in 2003, I think that was. We have, your whole going on here, the two sides. It's in the weather. I've said for a long time that these timelines show up even in the weather patterns. It's everywhere. I mean, it's... once you kind of half-assed know the story, because I don't even know the story. The only thing I know when I did my puzzle was, and this was confirmed, I did this in a video years ago, my 9-year-old granddaughter put on a play, and her play was about basically how our kingdom was attacked by monsters. They put monsters in our bodies, turning us into monsters. And so... And actually, it was the two granddaughters, and the one held the other one, said, so I got to put her to sleep and wake her up. And that was pretty much the end of the play. And for a 9-year-old and to come up with something like that, who doesn't get taught anything what we would define as esoteric or anything like that, that's just confirmation of things that you kind of already know. So that was the border pieces. That's what I was working with. Everything else, trying to fill it all in. Even to this day, kind of sketchy. But, there's some things that get confirmed, right? And they stand out. And once you start seeing them, you can't unsee it, right? So the things that I know, I know, and... again, I don't care what people think. Some people think I'm crazy, whatever, it doesn't matter. So today could be an interesting day depending on, if this is going to be the last day, because I'm not sure if we have to do 3 days of darkness after this. But I think that could also be incorporated right here, the 3 days, because basically the 3 days of darkness are just the 3 worlds. So we have the big processing box. And the 3 worlds maybe all coming to an end here all on this same day. Wouldn't that be nice? And like I said, as far as what the false flags will look like, have no idea. It could be a total humdrum day, and the only thing we have to deal with is the weather. But I haven't heard anything about the race. I've been too busy. Apparently the Grand Prix right's going on. I don't know. We'll see, right? It could be a false flag, Could even be three of them. Who knows? Okay, I love you all. Take care. Bye bye.